A teenager in Nebraska and her mother are facing multiple charges after Facebook's parent company, Meta, turned over their private messages. Police say their messages prove the teen had an illegal abortion, as she and her mother told police it was an unexpected stillbirth. CNN's Alexandra Field joins us now. This case is tragic, independent of the technological elements, but it is raising some alarms about privacy for some.
Yeah, and we have seen privacy experts who have been raising the alarm bells about how your personal data, your apps, your internet searches might be used to enforce these increasingly restrictive abortion laws that we've seen go into effect across the country since the Dobbs decision. This case actually relates to laws that were already on the books even before the Supreme Court's decision. Nebraska limits abortions to the first 20 weeks. In Nebraska, police were investigating a mother and her teenage daughter and a pregnancy that ended at 28 weeks. It was called a stillbirth by the mother and the daughter. Police believe they were investigating an illegal abortion. They charged the mother and the daughter. In the course of their investigation, after filing some charges, they continued to interview the daughter, who then referenced her Facebook messages to try to pinpoint some information. At that point, it seems that police sought a warrant for information pertaining to both the daughter and the mother's Facebook accounts. That information was then turned over to police. Police also then sought another warrant pertaining to internet searches related to medication abortions. They seized 13 devices from the family. Facebook has put out a statement. They say that nothing in the valid warrants we received from local law enforcement in early June prior to the Supreme Court decision mentioned abortion. So this is a case where you had a criminal investigation. These warrants were sought. Facebook then turned over the information here. So yes, you are seeing data that is being used to prosecute these cases. This is something we could see a lot more of across the country. Should note here that both mother and daughter have pleaded not guilty to all charges.
Alexandra Field, thank you for that. Let's go down to Dana Sussman, the acting executive director of the National Advocates for Pregnant Women. First, your thoughts on the implications of this story. As I said, tragic, independent of Facebook or Meta handing over the information in response to this warrant. But what do you think the implications are beyond this singular case?
Well, I think what we see here is quite a typical playbook, unfortunately. Most cases of pregnancy-related criminalization start with a report from another person, not from surveilling digital information. And in this case, what we understand is that someone that was known to the family reported something suspicious about this pregnancy loss to the police. And that's what kicked off this entire chain of events. In our research and in the cases in which we've represented folks, it's healthcare providers, it's neighbors, it's family members who make that initial report. And that's how this case also originated.
I do want to point out that Meta said that the initial warrant did not mention abortion. It doesn't go on to say that if it had mentioned abortion, we would have fought this search warrant or this request. Are you finding that companies are fighting these to protect their customers, especially on these issues of abortion or the right to?
Well, I think what's important is for companies to take a principled position surrounding what they will do if they are made aware of a search warrant or other requests for information that relate to healthcare-related crimes. And I want to also just point out that this same situation could arise with respect to gender-affirming care in certain states. So this is not just about pregnancy and abortion, but it certainly is. It finds itself in the crosshairs right now. If Facebook had information relating to the underlying facts, they really need to scrutinize those facts and understand that a charge or an investigation doesn't have to articulate a statute that relates to an abortion or an abortion ban. Most of the cases that we have worked on and that we've been tracking involve prosecutions of other crimes. We've seen felony child neglect, child abuse, feticide, murder, manslaughter, and we expect those kinds of charges to increase in this post-Dobbs world.
Absent the policies that you're calling for from these tech companies, what should women do? Should they stop using the period tracking apps, or not discuss this online? How far are you suggesting women go to protect themselves from something like this potentially happening to them?
Well, I'm reluctant to demand that everyday regular people have to monitor who they speak to or really keep this information as confidential as possible. Many people are going through an incredibly difficult time making these decisions and accessing information. But you could delete your period tracking app. There's been a lot of attention on that. But I think more importantly, use encrypted messaging services like Signal. Use search engines that don't track or retain search information. And I think we also need to call upon the major platforms to not retain search information that relates to healthcare. They have access to this information. They don't need to hold on to it. And they should take the position and take action to not retain this information so that it cannot be made available to law enforcement.
Dana Sussman, thank you.